video is going to cover 5.4, 5.5, and 5.6 to end this collection of videos for question 5. So 5.4 says open the query 5 underscore 4. So we're going to double click on this query. There's the query there. Let's read what it says. It says add a calculated field called new and calculate a new amount to be paid by the members. So all the members are going to get this new amount calculated. If the member's status is prefect, they will receive a 10% discount from the amount. Calculate the new amount that each member should pay. Alright, so if they get their status says prefect, they get the 10% discount. And if it doesn't, they will just pay the normal amount that's there, and all we'll do is make sure that the normal amount will show up in that new column as well. Alright, then it says here, hint, use the if function. So they're giving you the answer basically. So we know what function to use. They're making this super easy for us. Alright, so first thing I need to do is go into my design view, and I'm going to go to the next open column. Inside here, the query, I can go and open up the expression builder. I'm going to go to my built-in functions, and the first thing I'm going to do is look for if. Okay, there we go, if. And if you remember the if function from Excel, it looks exactly like this. We have the expression, then we have the value if true, and then the value if false. So what we're going to do for our expression is we're going to test whether or not the status says prefect. So we're going to go into our query here, then we're going to say status equals, and in quotation marks we're going to say prefect, and then close the quotation marks. Alright, so that is our test. We're asking the program to go look at whatever is in status and see if it equals prefect. Now if it does, what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to take the amount and subtract it from 0.1 times amount. Okay, so what the 0.1 is doing is it's calculating what 10% of the amount is. And then once it's got that answer, it will subtract it from the original amount. Now, if it's true. Now, if it doesn't say prefect, it's going to go here to the false. Now, in the false, all we're going to do is make it show up the original amount. Okay. Now, if you look here, the expression builder put expression 1 there. Remember, we delete this expression 1, leave the colons in, and we need to type in the name of this field, which must be called new. N-E-W, and I go and run. Alright, so you can see here, this is 90, 100, because they don't have anything in their status. But as soon as it says prefect, yes, it equals that. It calculates what 10% is, which will be 40, and 400 minus 40 is going to give you 360. Now, only problem is we don't see an R here for Rand. So we need to go into our design view. Over here, we make sure we're in this field, and then we're going to go to format and currency. And there we go. We've got our currency. Now we're going to save and close this. Alright. Next it says open the form 5 underscore 5. So here we go. Double click on it to open. And it tells us to modify the form to appear as shown below. So everything looks almost the same, but there's a few things at the bottom of this table. It says note. Change the font color of the heading to any color of your choice besides the default color. So I'm going to go into my design view, and I'm going to come here to the heading, and I'm going to go to the home tab, and here you can see the font color. Let's make it red. But now before I stop dealing and working with this font, you'll notice in the example in your book it says members info. So we need to type members info. Okay, so now that is the heading that is in the example. Then it says the image 5 details is in your examination folder. So there's a little image that appears over here. So I'm going to go to design, and under my controls, click on the image. And I'm going to draw the little box where I want the image to go. The minute I let go, it opens the browser. And then I can go and look for the image in the exam folder. And the image is 5 details. There we go. Click on OK, and it inserts it for me. Alright, then it says change the gender text box to a combo box. So if we go here, gender, if I click on this one, you see it says label. So this isn't the text box, so click on that one. It just says gendered. So this is the text box. We're going to right click, and over here change to, and they want us to change it to combo box. There we go, combo box. Now you'll see here under data, it says gender, then it says row source, and then table query. Now we're not going to get this source from any table or any query. We are going to type them in ourselves. So I'm going to say value list, and then over here I'm going to type in my two. We can open up this little wizard, and here we're going to just type in male, then you push enter, and female, and then you can click on OK. Alright, when I go and see the form, you can see here by gender, it says male, the drop down arrow has appeared, and when I click on it, it allows me to now pick the option from the list. Alright, so that was everything to do with the form. Once you've done with that, you can click on the save and close. Alright, and then the last thing it says, create a report called report RP, they say RPR in the test, but it's RPT 5_6 based on the detail table. So again, because we're basing it on this detail table, let's open the detail table up. We're going to create, and again we're going to go to report wizard. Always open up the wizard. Now because the table's open, there it is over there. Then it says display only the name, the surname, gender, and amount fields. Okay, there we go. Group the records according to gender. So on the next screen, we're going to go here to gender and double click it. You need to make sure it goes blue. If it's not, it's because you haven't selected it. And you'll notice it takes it away from this list and adds it to the top here. So it's grouping on gender. Then it says insert a function to determine the amount each spent by males and females, and insert a function to determine the total number of members. Alright, so once this is done, the next screen shows us if we wanted to sort it. The screen after that, a layout, if we need to change the layout, but that doesn't tell us to do anything there. And then the last one here asks us to type in the name. So it's RPT 5_6, and I say finish. So the first thing it does is it opens up in print preview. I'm just going to close that, and here is my design view. So the first thing I need to do is insert a function, so it's going to determine the amount each spent by males and females. So that needs to go into the gender footer. But as you can see, after the detail section, there's a page footer and there's report footer, but there's no gender footer. So we need to activate it. So click on grouping and sorting, and over here by group on gender with A on top, click on the more, and you will find it says without a footer section. Click on the drop down arrow and then say with a footer section, and you will see under the detail section there the gender footer appears. Alright, so over here we're going to put the function that's going to determine the amount each spent by males and females. So in order to calculate the amount, we need to know that the function we're going to use is going to add them all up, and that function is sum. The same function you use in Excel will be the same function we use here. Alright, now to put a function in here, we're going to put in a text box. I'm going to draw the text box in, and you'll notice the text box comes accompanied with a label. So in the label, I'm going to write here maybe what I should do is in front just say total amount each spent. Okay, now can you see that these things are overlapping? Now if I try and click here and drag it, both boxes move together. So whenever I'm dealing with an edit box that I put in its label, I need to make sure that I click on the gray big square at the top. That will move them individually. Okay, they're still grouped, because if I move it here, you'll see now they both move. But when I click on this big box, I can nudge the one closer or move it further away without the other one moving. Alright, so now inside here, I'm going to go to my control source, and I'm going to go to my expression builder, and I'm looking for a built-in function. Start with S. Okay, and there we see it, sum. So I double click on it, and there it says expression. So what is my expression? I want it to sum up amount. So I come here to my report. Now be careful not to click on this one. This amount label is the label that tells you amount. So if we look at this here, that's that box there. We need the box that's inside the detail section, and that there is the edit box or the text box. So we need to scroll down until we see just amount. Right, so we double click on that, and it puts the amount in for us, and I can click on OK. The expression gets added to the box for me, and once that's done, if I go and view it, you will see at the end of the group there it gives me total amount each spent. Alright, now that there is for the female, and if we look here now for male, at the end of that group it gives me the total, but now there's no R, so we need to go change that quickly. So let's go into the design view. Make sure you've selected that object, and then over here, this is data. We click on format, and we go to format, and we say currency. Okay, now you can see it in currency. Alright, so the next function to determine the total number of members. So in other words, they want us to count. So we have to use a count function, and we're going to count in the report footer. As you can see, the report footer is still closed. It doesn't look like this with the little grid at the back, so we need to open it up so we can see that grid. So I move my mouse, click down, and then I drag this open until I'm happy with the amount of space. After that, I'm going to put in a text box, and inside my label, I'm going to give this a label, and I'm going to call it total number of members. Okay, and again, because they're overlapping, I'm going to grab the box on the one, pull it apart so that they don't overlap. Now we're looking at the unbound format. No. Okay, we need to go to data. Yeah, control source. Click on the little dots to open up the expression builder. And over here, I'm going to go look for my built-in function. And the built-in function is called count. There we go. Double click. Now expression. Now guys, we can count any field in here. We can count the amount, we can count the gender, we can count the name, the surname, but the easiest thing to do when you wanted to count everything is just put an asterisk into the expression, and we click on see that it put the expression in the box for us. Now when we run it at the end of the report, so you won't see it now because that's just the end of the gender group for the females. Now at the end of the gender group for males, you'll see there, and then this is the end of the report. You'll see total number of members, and there it counted for us 74. Alright, so that is the end of this database question. You can save and close. Well done.